Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Albums and Memories, where I talk about a couple of albums at a time in my albums collection, and I talk about the memories it gave me. Now today we're going to look at two Red Hot Chili Peppers albums, By the Way and Stadium Arcadium. My third and fourth favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers studio albums. Now, let's just talk about my fourth favorite, and uh, I can explain the cover of this. I can explain what happened here. I bought this at like cut back to around the winter when I was in grade 11. Um, and it was snowing, so school was canceled. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna shovel driveways for $5. And I did that for a few houses, and then eventually I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to my friend's house, and uh, just hang out. And so I called him, and then it's like, hey, can I come over? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And for some very strange reason, I went over to the outlet mall, and I went to HMV, and I went to Future Shop and got this album. So instead, I just took the bus all the way to Future Shop instead of just walking to his house. That's it. I walked it back to his. I didn't walk to his house. I never went to his house that day. I just called him and didn't show up. That was a dick move, but whatever. Not whatever, but I'm sorry. But I just went and got to the Future Shop, and I bought this album, and I didn't really notice that this was damaged. I swear this was not my fault. I swear this was not my fault. But I remembered like this being damaged, and like, okay, whatever. It's too late for me now. Uh, and like, oh crap. And thankfully the CD wasn't damaged. I haven't listened to this since I was in college, but I remember, like, that's the memory I have. Just, like, this is a very soft, like, one of the chilliest Chili Pepper albums that's ever been made. Like, I remember thinking this album was okay because I'm like, this is just a sequel to Californication. And I just thought, this is, years later, I'm thinking, this is a lot more than that. There's a lot more going on than Californication. I'll get to Californication when I get to that, but over the years, I'm like in college, I'm like, this is okay. And then for some reason, like late last year, for some reason, out of nowhere, I just wanted to listen to this album. I haven't listened to this in a while still, but the songs just popped into my head for some reason. Like, I'm like, wait, why? And then I remember it's like, maybe this album is pretty much like a fine wine. Like in terms of opinion, it's like a fine wine. It's like, oh, this is okay, but maybe just give it a few years, and it's like, oh, this is actually really, really good. Like, this is up there with my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers album, but like at the time, I'm like, oh, this is okay. Like, it's a little soft in my taste, but it's like, oh, this is okay. And then like without listening to the album for like what several years, I'm like, oh my god, I remember a lot. I remember all these songs. Like I remember Cabron and Tear and Mercury, and then like I remember when I was working for like a couple of weeks straight, the CD kept playing in my head. That's pretty much how it was. The CD just kept playing over and over in my head, and I'm like, okay, this is actually really this actually really holds up because well, if I actually remember all these, it's like yeah, I remember. I'm just gonna keep remembering, and it just went on day after day, and it's like okay, this is fine, and it's like okay, eventually I'm gonna have to listen to this album, and I still haven't. I want to, and I eventually will, but yeah, and this is the last album I have as of this recording. When it this the CD case will be busted up like this. Not my fault. However, no, like I think I remember the employee telling me that it was damaged. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Then like even back then, I'm like, okay, this is fine. This actually fits how I was in elementary school when I kept dropping the CD cases. But whatever. It's still kind of in good condition, and hey, the CD works great. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, but anytime I remember this album, I just remember like snow. That's it. I just remember just snow and how beautiful it was and how cold it was. And yeah, I actually like do kind of miss that period in my life where I just like shoveled snow, so shoveled other people's driveways in their neighborhoods, and didn't. I don't think I did a really good job about it, but they gave me money, so whatever. And I used their money to buy this album, which was about $20, and it was worth it. And the next album I want to talk about is Stadium Arcadium. Now, this is my third favorite Chili Peppers album, and it holds a special place in my heart because the song Danny California was the very first song I ever heard by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Now, I might have heard about what Give It Away was. I might have, but in my head, I'm thinking Give It Away. I think I heard that song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers first, but I didn't know who the Red Hot Chili Peppers were. But Danny California? Yeah, I remember. Like cut to grade 9 back in 2005. I'm like, this song is amazing. I want to hear more of this. And yeah, my dad bought this for me during the holidays when I was in grade 9. And I'm like, this is amazing. Uh, and yeah, third album I ever bought by them. And I remember, I remember actually being a bit daunted because this is a 2 disc album. I'm like, oh crap, this is gonna take me a while, and this goes by really fast. Like recently, I actually bought more albums, so about last week I actually had to put the albums back. But it was a long run. Like this was in my CD case over there for like 10 years. So okay, not 10 years. It was more like 13. 12, 13 years. And I remember, like, this is an album I used to study with. Like, I used to have a mini DVD player right here, and I used to, like, listen to this album constantly. And, yeah, it was mostly, like, it used to be Jupiter, their first disc right here. Their first disc, Jupiter, which is this, used to be the album I used to listen to a lot, like, constantly. I constantly listened to it. And I was like, okay, mostly because like Danny California's on here, my personal favorite and memory song, Snow was right here. That's my birthday song, and I remember being really upset. Like I remember the song Torture Me mostly because it just reminds me of the time like me and my friend Andrew used to like play Halo together, and he used to always beat me, and I'm like, okay, I'm pissed off. And then he ripped the song onto from the CD to his Xbox, his original Xbox. That's how old it was. And anytime the song played, anytime Torture Me played, I used to like get really angry and just kill him all the time. And like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. And yeah, it was one of the few times I actually like took my CD collection, my CD case out of the house. But eventually, I went through their second disc, and I'm like, yeah, this is actually really damn good. This is actually really damn good too. Like lately, I've been really into like listening to Desecration Smile, and I remember listening to like their entire album, and I remember listening to Turn It Again, and I'm like, this is amazing. This is one of the best like guitar solos I've ever heard. And then the next song, Death of the Martian, is pretty much melancholy. And I remember like listening to this album for the first time. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna remember all these songs. And honestly, I remember like 80% of the songs. That's how catchy all of this is. It doesn't even feel the same. Every song is taken as a risk. Like every, I feel like the collaboration for the band in this particular album was its strongest at this point. And I always have the memories of high school because I remember like Danny California coming up like before I went to school. I'm like, yeah, this song is amazing. And I just remember like trying to like get over that hump in terms of like, because I was in grade 9 when the song came out and I was nervous as hell. And this song always came up in terms of like, high school. Anytime I had high school in the morning, like I listened to this song and then my stomach actually got like nervous. And I was like, oh my god, my stomach hurts. Like that's how it was pretty much every morning with Danny California. this isn't songs and memories, but I just want to talk about that song because like anytime like it was more like I heard the song in the morning and then I don't eat, my stomach hurts. I listen to the song, I do eat, and my stomach hurts. It's like, come on, what do you want? I can't be nervous. Why is my stomach hurting? Like, it gave me cramps. But sorry about that. And I remember like later on, a couple years later, I just heard the song. The song Stadium Arcadium actually gives me like a lot of good memories because it just reminds me of me being in my computer lab and just listening to the song and just browsing the internet. And it's like, oh my god, this is actually really good because it's so melancholy and it's actually fun. And the song Hump the Bump, I remember like constantly playing this because like, oh, this is actually really nice. Like I actually had to force myself to keep playing the song on my MP3 mostly because I kept like because the music video is like really fun to watch, and I kept forgetting I kept forgetting the beat to it for some reason. I'm like, oh, this is a really good song. Too bad I don't remember why. And I listened to it again. I'm like, oh, I remember the song, and I forget. It's like, oh, I don't know why I keep forgetting it. Eventually, I got into it. It's still stuck in my head now because like 90% of their albums are stuck in my head, and that's the best thing about it. And yeah, again, third favorite Red Hot Chili Pepper album. Sad that I had to put both CDs back in this case to make room for new CDs. I keep meaning to go back to this and By the Way, mostly because like they make a great set in terms of like because like this they're both big departures from each other. What 4 years? Yeah, like 4 years between albums, and everybody is like, wow, like this is actually a really good thing they've got going on. And yeah, their later material, like their second stint with John Frusciante, yeah, I really like. Um, yeah, it's actually a really good thing that I bought every single Red Hot Chili Pepper album, like I did with Radiohead. And I'm looking at this right now, and I've officially finished my second pile of CDs for the show. Man, it didn't take that long. I went by this so fast, so yeah, this is actually a really good thing that I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna get to the albums eventually. I'm gonna get to the next time I'm gonna get to the albums I have up here. About 20, 22, 23 albums I have up here, and then that's pretty much it. And I'll have to find something else better to do. So thank you for watching this episode, and thank you for seeing me finish the second pile of albums I have here. And I will see you another time. Thank you.